Welcome to JED's Journal Podcast from the JED TV studios on the campus of Purdue Northwest in Hammond, Indiana. Now here's your host, Jim Dedelow.
Listen, Fogerty is tomorrow. Do you know who that is?
I've heard the name, I probably know some songs if I were to look up some songs.
But we can't play them now, can we?
No.
I think if we say the word Fogerty too many times, we might get flagged by YouTube.
Yeah.
I was a huge fan of John Fogerty, of course, coming out of Creedence Clearwater Revival, CCR. He started in the late 1950s. He's 80 years old right now, and I just wonder how that's going to hold up. He was born in 1945, up around the Bend. Have you ever seen the rain? Born on the Bayou, and Cotton Fields with Willie and the Poor Boys. He did Fortunate Son, of course, with Willie and the Poor Boys. I've seen him a number of times, and he gives different shows. And one of the shows is kind of the more pop show he did at, I think one time it was at the casino over here in Hammond at Horseshoe. And then I've seen him also do the harder rock versions where he goes into Born on the Bayou for like 12 minutes. And I don't know what he's going to do here at the Festival of the Lakes, but that is tomorrow night. The next morning after John Fogerty, McDermott's going to be in here, and we'll review how that went, and we will preview the rest of it. The one minor we'll preview the rest of Festival of the Lakes, but the one minor connection I had with John Fogerty is I went to school where he grew up. He grew up in the Berkeley, California area, and I went down to the Berkeley Community Center, and I took guitar lessons from this old guy with a big beard, and he looked like a ship's captain right out of Central Casting. And I didn't realize it when I had enrolled, but it was right around the corner from where I was living. It was like $4 or something. So I took the guitar lessons from him, and it turns out that he was the guy who taught John Fogerty how to play the guitar. So he would tell Fogerty stories about what a dweeb the guy was when he came in to, 14 years old to take his first guitar lesson. He didn't know he didn't know songs. He just knew how to do notes and chords and that kind of stuff, and he kind of tightened them up. But he said he was the dweebiest, kind of like, almost like a computer nerd would be now. He was a guitar nerd back then. And that people forget that as he went on to pop fame, that he was really kind of on the outside of the social circuit there. John Fogerty is a Grammy-winning American singer, guitarist, and songwriter, and a prominent figure in American music. The Berkeley native is best known as leader of the swamp rock band Creedence Clearwater Revival, where he played lead guitar and sang lead vocals. In the 1950s, he formed the band Tommy Fogerty and the Blue Velvets, and his brother Tom, Doug Clifford, and Stu Cook all helped him with that. This is a big moment, folks. John Fogerty coming to Hammond, Indiana, and that'll be tomorrow. And they can get their tickets at what, FOTL, or what's the website?
You can get tickets, let me see here.
Yes, festivallakes.com, I see, yeah. Can you buy tickets there?
Yes, I'm pretty sure. Right now I see it, yeah. They sponsor they show the VIP first, and then I don't know, are these the concerts here, majority of them are free concerts, and then they have their VIP sections, right?
Is that what it is? You know what? I forget.
Don't quote me on that.
I thought, no. That must be what it is, because
free concerts with VIP upgrades available.
So the VIP upgrade is not cheap. It is $110.49 with $10.49 of fees included. So $110.49 for one ticket to John Fogerty, and the VIP gates open tomorrow at 6 o'clock. And the opening acts begin at 6:30, and the headliner takes the stage around 9 p.m. So if he's taking the stage at 9 p.m., you got to believe there's some sort of curfew over there for the Robertsdale Whiting people, don't you think? Or no? I mean, anyways, let's take some phone calls, see how people are doing. Anything on your mind? You want to talk about the Epstein case? You want to talk about Festival of the Lakes? Brantley Gilbert is on Thursday. Akon is on Friday. Third Eye Blind is on Saturday. What a big names. And La Araladora is on Saturday.
There you go.
All right, let's take some phone calls. 219-845-1100. Hey, you're on the air.
Hey, he take the thunder from the mountain, he take the lightning from the sky, he bring a strong man to his begging knee, and he make the young girls' mamas cry. You got to hidey, you got to jump and run. You got the old man is down the road. Don't forget that song. That was a great single from him. But didn't he get into a big fight, John Fogerty, with Saul Zaentz, the producer of The English Patient? I used to read that guy's meter when I worked for the power company out west. Anyway, I want to say real quick, go see John Fogerty, and be careful of praising the AI. Good friend of Brad Gimbel's is a major software engineer, if not a CEO status, of a major airline. And what he is presently in Gulfston is a mass problem of productivity loss due to the CEO's grandiose dreams that AI is going to alleviate his workforce. I would also like you guys to take a look at an MIT study that just came out that I've been reviewing, and it is called the productivity paradox of AI adoption in manufacturing firms, which hits the region very hard with manufacturing. AI will actually cause a loss in productivity. And if a company doesn't have the funds to adjust for that, it may put them out of business for the company that has more resources to utilize the AI and basically modify it. So I just want to say, be wary of the AI, especially when all the Epstein stuff and all that stuff's coming out, because aren't the Republicans just falling apart at the seams? This is hilarious.
Hey, the productivity paradox that you're talking about is real, and I've heard of it before. And if you really listen to the TED Talks and you get into it, it has to be, it isn't in my mind, it's not a system-wide thing. I think people still have to run the systems, but you can use it in specific instances. Like we have like 10,000 games and shows and clips and everything, and we want to make them into things that you could use on the air. And we're never going to do that, but AI could do that in a very limited fashion. Now, we would have to take it and put it into the system. So you're right, Brad Gimbel. I'm trying to teach the young people that come through here that don't worry about being an AI, savant. What you got to start thinking of is, how do you run the system? And that's what we're doing this summer, is we're trying to redo some of our systems. And it's not going that well in some cases, and that some of the new technology, like the Microsoft updated the computer and it made all of our sound cards and our video cards obsolete because they can't update like that. I mean, those kind of things are still going to be there. AI, a lot of times, will edit a clip and they will patch it together and it'll look bad, and they don't have the technology down. The specific problems aren't going to go away, but you got to learn how to run that system.
Absolutely. I think utilizing it is absolutely. If you don't utilize it, you're dead in the water. At least you're going to be able to tread water for a while until you can move on to it. But I think it's an absolutely incredible technology. And if you don't use it, you're going to be at a disadvantage. Really are going to be at a disadvantage. It's like the internet when people said it wasn't viable or wasn't enough information. What they're doing is they're taking everyone's website that everyone ever made, putting it in and data banking it so they can give you back that information quickly. But what it is going to do in the long run is kill advertising. That is the one big problem that they can't figure out, is how it's not going to kill advertising. And that's kind of a crusade I'm going to go on.
Right. Well, you mean advertising agencies and advertising creative people and that kind of stuff. Yeah, so I agree. And, people will call here and buy advertising, and then they're like, well, can you write a script for us? And Peter will say, well, I already sent you one. during the phone
right,
call.
throw in the AI.
Yeah,
exactly.
and, well, you don't like that one, we'll do another one. You could literally say, go to, let's say, Ogren Insurance's website and write 3 different versions of a 29-second spot. And they will give that to you, and then you send it to Ogren Insurance, and they go, well, we like this one, we like that one, and then you might edit it a little bit. But you can have that done in about 10 or 15 minutes, where it used to be, all right, you got to write it, you got to send it back, you got to write it. Yeah, it would be a week. Exactly. You know that game. It's like, no, we're on the phone right now. Let's finish it, and the AI will write it. Well, you know, the same thing is happening. I'll just tell you guys, we are able to take on way more work in terms of creating videos for people. And we weren't doing that before because it took so long. But like this 219 News Now, you've been involved in that. I mean, literally, it used to take Andrew all day to gather everything, write it, do all this. Now you plug it in, either our video or our stuff or the Times' stuff, and it spits it out. You got to edit the transcript a little bit, but it takes about 15, 20 minutes to put together a newscast that used to take 5 hours.
Yes, and that is where it prospers, and that's where it's absolutely some of the most wonderful stuff. And I think it levels the playing field because it actually puts people in the workforce of there is no more I can't do it. Like, if you can't type in a question that you have, then that means you're just lazy and you don't want to. That's what the greatest thing about AI is to me, is that it actually can help people learn whatever subject they need to learn to adapt to the position. And if they can't do it through the AI, when it's basically being fed to them, then maybe you aren't fit for that position and you can move on, and that increases productivity. You can put that person in another area. And I think that at first it's going to kill some jobs, but in the end it's going to make us so much more powerful and put humans in a place where we are so better utilized. We are actually, we can really reach our individual potentials if we can actually understand what's coming at us through the AI and apply it. And that is where the change is going to come. So, great conversation this morning. Loved it. I will see you guys sometime maybe tomorrow morning.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. 219-845-1100. Take one more. All right. Hey, you're on the air.
Good morning, Jed. First of all, let me just say that I'm just glad that Trucker Mike is doing good. He's back to work. He was seen doing that process when he was feeling real bad. He was concerned more about Debbie at home. I said, Debbie will be all right. And he told me that some of his relatives came from out of state. I think his son came up and all that. So they were taking care of Debbie, and she didn't have to worry about anything. She was worried about him, and he was worried about her. So they were worried about each other, and that's great, making sure that everything is okay. But
Matlock, you're quite the friend too. Showing up and hanging out with Trucker Mike. You went above and beyond, and it shows the kind of person that you are.
Well, when something like this, and I think with everybody, it's not no one person. When I heard him talking about it on the radio, I didn't know where he was. I mean, in terms of place he was, but apparently Dave Gearman knew where he was, and I was taking it to be on 169th, but it was across from this other company on Fifth Avenue, basically Reese Riley, and right across the street. That's where he was. So, but I did go to the hospital, and I just knew that he would be in good hands there. And I know a lot of those people, professional people there. And I said to them, just take care of Mike, and what do you need? I just need you all to take care of Mike.
Mike appreciates that. I haven't really brought up that to you on some of the aftercare of going to see Mike in the hospital and so forth. But I know you know some of the people over there at Methodist.
I know a lot of people over there.
Yeah, and somehow it got back to me that you were there from like somebody who works there. But all Mike was concerned about was not having a cup of coffee in the morning. Isn't that funny?
Right. Yeah. Well, that's kind of strange that he couldn't get a cup of coffee. Maybe I need to talk to some of the people there, because I know some of the administrators and stuff. Because not only am I, just unfortunately, he wasn't able to get a cup of coffee when he wanted, but any other person should be able to get a cup of coffee. You come in my house or your house, radio station, and I'm sure you get a cup of coffee if you want it. So I don't understand that.
Yeah, well, there must be some sort of protocol with people that maybe. All I was thinking is that if somebody's had a mishap like that, a health scare, which like that, maybe they're not allowed to have their own coffee in case they spill their hot coffee or something like that. Maybe there's some sort of legal. The lawyers got involved, and hey, you can't give somebody who's had an issue hot coffee.
And as we go, and as I look, and if we're looking nationally in terms of health care, right now, Medicare and Medicaid is under attack, okay? I don't know if we need to have somebody who is neutral, not political. Some of the experts are saying, but what I'm hearing right now, the people who get Medicare and Medicaid, basically, they might lose some of the hospitals and nursing homes might shut down. Can you expound a little at that? And then I'll come back at you on that. Can you expound on that? I'm sure you've heard the same thing I've heard. I don't know that, but there is a good bill that passed. But what a beautiful bill that passed. I don't know if it's so beautiful. People who, like myself and other people in the community that I live in the community that that Mike live in, would be able to give him health care. And I'm not trying to turn this political, but I just think sometimes they were saying that this one lady said it wasn't good, but I had to do it because Trump stayed on the thing, and that's unfortunate. Where he would look out for all his rich buddies and then what don't have to care about with Medicare and Medicaid, basically just lining their pockets. And I think right now a lot of people are a little disappointed. I see across this country. I've never seen, JED, I've never seen in a situation like this where people came across the country and they're basically peaceful protesting, saying, this is terrible. How the nursing home. I know I have a brother in a nursing home, and they say, well, we don't know how long this is going to last. We may have to close doors based on this so-called beautiful bill that passed. What do you think about that? I don't need to keep going.
Well, I think it's a really big topic that we have touched on, but I'll be here Thursday, and I'll make that a priority. But, I just put it in here. What is the effect on health care of the big, beautiful bill? It significantly impacts health care by making cuts to Medicaid and increasing health care costs for many Americans. The changes are projected to lead to millions losing health care insurance coverage and place additional burdens on states and health care providers. So
see, and I didn't want anybody to just say, well, he's getting political, but I'm saying that's what something we ought to be talking about. We ought to be talking about, is this thing real? We need to talk to our representatives in Washington. What do they feel about it? We have local representatives, and I'm not saying that they are going along with it, but you need to be vocal about this thing. It's crazy. I mean, I've never seen anything like it in my life. They're cutting this, and right now, with what they came up, this beautiful. I mean, it's beautiful for him. But what about people like probably making less than just living from payday to payday? Are you aware, JED, that there are people in my community and probably part of your community are living from paycheck to paycheck?
Oh, well, I would say most of the people 60%. Listening are living paycheck to paycheck. Ron, I do have a show I got to go to, but I don't know as if the full impact of making cuts to Medicaid and basically giving, the top 1%, tax cuts, and then, making the lowest 80% of people pay for that has really been, people don't want to hear it. They think you're right. It's a political statement. to me, it's not a political statement at all. All you got to do is all you got to do is read the independent analysis of what it's going to do to the average American. And I'm like, how are people not heeding this? And everybody's got somebody on Medicaid, whether it's your parents or you or somebody who's has a disability, and what you're going to do, just push them out into the street? It doesn't make any sense. But anyways, Ron, we got to go. Thank you for helping with Trucker Mike. Thanks a lot. All right, guys, I got to end this segment.
You've been listening to Jed's Journal podcast from the JED TV studios on the campus of Purdue Northwest in Hammond, Indiana. Thank you for listening.